Gun had a bit of a knock, so I had to muck around with it a wee bit, but we had first shot up here, and then it eventually started grouping, and I've just slowly moved it across. I still need to go up, and then that's just poor shooting, but the rest of these ones through the middle are where it's really liking to group, so it's not too bad. That's 2 shots there, that's 3 there, and that's another one, so I can get that to replicate. Then obviously the gun's shooting well. It's just me that's gonna fuck it up. So I'll make some final changes, and then there's a couple of targets out at 400 and 500, and I'll have a wee crack at playing with them in a second. So this is the current setup. We've got a Glacier Rifles carbon stock with the cheek riser, which I'm just getting used to. I do really like it now. I don't think it's necessary, but it's definitely helping to probably increase my accuracy a little bit. How good's a carbon stock though? Always looks bloody good. And then we've got the Spartan bipod with the ProTac, so system to come up and down, and obviously off and on, super quick. And then we just have an Element Optics on tops, which there's a lot of good long range shooters getting around using now. They're all using the slightly higher range model. This is the base range, but still does everything I need it to, and has taken a fair amount of wax. Like I've got some nicks up there, some on the side there. Had an absolute hiding, and but just does absolutely everything I want for it. I'm not much of a long range shooter, or even a very good shooter, target shooter, so as long as the gun's shooting straight, that's all I'm really worried about. I always just like to double check everything, which is what I'm doing right now. Double check, triple check, because there's nothing worse than going out, pulling the trigger when you know you've had a good setup and it not coming off. So, right, time to practice out a little bit further. So first up range is 400. I've just plugged it into the Stirlock app, and it's given me my dial up. Haven't adjusted for wind because there's only just the tiniest of breeze. That, again, like, that's the thing with this long range shit, which I am not sort of adjusted with, is like learning to adjust for windage and that sort of thing, and it's just something that I guess you learn as you go on, and maybe get the tools with the wee friggin' wind gauges and stuff. So I guess that's something you branch into, but for the minute I'll be happy if I'm at the right height. And this is why I said I'm not a long range shooter, so that shot's not very good at all. For reference, it's the size of a fist, so any grouping inside of that I'll be pretty bloody happy with. This is 400, so that's that there, so one there, and then one there, which is, yeah, high and low, so who knows what's going on there. That's just human error, that's me. And then this one's a wee way out, high, so yeah, I don't think I've ever mucked around shooting animals outside of 350, and this is probably one of the reasons why I'm still not 100% confident in my grouping. If I had 3 inside of that, I'd have been happy as. That's why you practice, right? Just moved out to 500. Still no wind adjustment, but it's actually calmed off nicely, so it's just me versus me, really. See how we go. It's a good sound. 500 again, sort of fist size, just for reference for that white mark. Those two there have grouped really nicely. Would have been cool if I'd had sort of 3 in that there, but just the odd outlier, and again comes more down to human error and being consistent at it, but that's getting better. And these are factory rounds. These are the Hornady Precision ELD X162s, and I imagine if I I'll go back to some hand loads. Should be able to get something a bit more like that with maybe a couple more shots in there, which would be cool, but it's not too bad for 510 yards. Just got to tighten it a little bit and then I can start doing that on animals. I think long range shooting is really something that's kind of earned. It just has to be earned. I think you need to put a lot more practice in than anything sort of inside of 300 yards or 250 yards. It's a lot more human error. You have to have a lot more things right and just spend a lot more time behind the rifle. Hence why, although I have spent a bit of time behind the rifle, I've only just been really tightening things up in the last sort of few sessions I've done, and so I haven't been shooting outside of 350. I think might be the longest shot I've done with this setup, and it come off nicely. But as time goes on, I'll definitely slowly start stretching the legs. But you see so many guys get a nice setup, and then all the gear go out there. Just because your scope can dial out to 700 yards doesn't mean that your shooting capacity can do the same. And it kind of annoys me a wee bit, but each their own, I guess. You can do what you want when you're out there, but for me, I guess it just comes down to trying to earn, I guess, that long range shooting side of things, get better at it, and make sure that each time I do pull the trigger, you can never be 100% confident, but 99% confident, 95% confident that the shot's good, and have something ethical behind it other than winging something and then sitting back wondering why, because you know why, you didn't practice. Yeah, that's my wee rant anyway. Good fun though. Fucking expensive sport now, $7 a round through the 7mm. Doesn't even get much cheaper if I get people to do hand loads for me either. It's all much the same, so that's part of the other reason why I haven't been practicing as much either, because every time you come out you spend $100, 120, 140 bucks. Oh well, that's the game we play. Just got to do my final wee vertical change because I forgot my Allen key for my 0 stop, which is a rookie move. But anyway, I just sent those videos to a few guys to just sort of get some feedback on where I'm at with the long range side of things. And one of the fellas come back and said from a competition shooting side of things that would be sort of average, but when it comes to hunting, which is you're dealing with a whole range of differences, if I could do that out in the field, then that would be quite good. So I've just got to keep replicating that really, and I think that's the biggest thing that most people miss, is they feel like they shoot okay on a target, and then you get out into the field and it's a totally different game. You've got wind, you've got a moving animal, you've got time constraints, and everyone's got all these nice dial-up gear and think that they can do it, and it goes wrong. So for me, until I sort of start stretching the legs out past 350, 400, I'm just going to keep practicing that range, and just be happy that every time I pull the trigger, my confidence interval is high. But yeah, that's all my wee rant on long range shooting anyway. Not that I'm a long range shooter at all, but hopefully in the years to come we'll build up the skill set and stretch the legs further and further.